Last night there was a helicopter flying around here in the dark. If you'd have waited just like 20 more minutes after flying around, we're thinking it came right out of the middle there. So it was on the other side of that wash that goes up to South Wall. This side of Squire Creek, which goes up to Big Boulder Basin. All these kids nowadays change the names. They didn't like the early pioneers' names of Big Boulder Basin. They changed it to Waterfall Basin. Which was funny because when DJ first went in there in the mid-'80s, that's kind of what we called it, the Waterfall Basin. But because waterfalls in there in the spring. Anyway, he was flying around here last night, and then hovered right here. And he held that thing rock solid in the sky for like 20 plus minutes while they did a bunch of winch work and stuff. I'm guessing, could be totally wrong. Freaking people up here with their cell phones, but they're using their cell phones to navigate. I've seen it so many times already. I'm like, what the? Whew. Anyway, that's not what this story's about. Oh, kudos to the helicopter pilot. Anyway, working on Primal Scream, man. This is like early 90s. And we're always experimenting with different waves coming up through here. So it's always like, let's go this way. I've never been that way before. And earlier, coming up, Ken Strong and Dennis Richter, I believe. Please get a hold of me. Dennis and I are always wondering what happened to you. He was into ammonia refrigeration like I was at the time. Designed a bunch of new ammonia refrigeration stuff. And you can see my bumper sticker, I love NH3 on my Volkswagen van. They used to get me pulled over all the time by people going, we know what you're doing. We know what you're doing. I'm like, what the hell? And they tear my van apart, just tear it apart. This is where the trail that goes up to, then they call it Martha's Boulder now, because it came one time. They didn't realize always people call it Big Boulder up there. Look how small the glacier is. Looked at that glacier pretty nonstop for a lot of years, like since '73. Never seen it that small. And it's because it just rained like crazy the last 4 days. And it's been a cool summer too. How's this work? Damn it. I guess I gotta start bringing my own cell phone, huh? So what are we talking about? Kudos to the frickin' helicopter pilot last night. We all were in awe. So we're trying to find a new way coming up here, Dennis and Ken and me. And it was one of those days where it's really unstable and the thermals are breaking loose. And I can look at the thermal because they're looking way off in the distance here. I go, no, up there you can see a thermal busting loose. You can see the trees start to move and stuff. And I pointed out to them, so fine, they're looking in the sky, and I'm like, no, right there, you can see a thermal. It's a big whirlwind would come off. You know, dust devil, whatever you want to call it. But it's basically a thermal breaking loose. So I was telling them about hang gliding the weekend before down at Dog Mountain. Woohoo! Chris Bolger, Chris Drake, Stephen Holte. Anyway. Tangent, man. What? Tangent, man. So I'm pointing out the thermal's breaking loose. And look. So they finally got a hold of it. So anyway, we're up here. I'm trying to free solo. Of course, we're all free solo. But I'm out here, and it looks like, I'm out here, right in here. Right there in that dark spot coming up. It's steeper than it looks, boys. Put in perspective for you. I was doing pretty good. Had about 65, 70-pound pack on. My asymptotic freedom going up to work on. Back then it was called the buttress route. The buttress route. You'll find my boats eventually, kids. Kids, anyway. What did I get on? I'm talking about. Oh, anyway, so we're climbing up here. And all of a sudden, all three of us, look, they were below me, down here, come this way, and I'm going up this slab. pretty sure it's it. Yeah, I'm right in here, right in those big chicken heads and stuff. I mean, it's easy. It's like 5'7" probably. But I had a big pack on and stuff, and anyway, so got my foot moss, then like big chicken head, and I'm like, the move ahead of me did look kind of sketchy, so it was probably 5'8" or something. Who knows, 5'9". But I'm just like, maybe they can you get a rope up to me? Get a rope up to me. He goes, can't you just down climb it? And I was like, no, wasn't down climbing it. That's for sure. So I thought, I'll be good. I'm gonna big, nice, fat chicken head in one foot and a couple small chicken heads in the left hand. So I'm good. I made the mistake though of taking my heavy pack off and setting it on my foot, right? Putting my foot on the chicken head, and realized that was a dumb move. Idiot! How's that? I got an idiot myself. Anyway, so Ken's now it's like, Ken, I hate to tell you, but you gotta move it along here, get me. So he's like, oh, so he's getting around above me, climbing up here. So now him and Dennis are above me, and they're finally getting the rope down to me. And all of a sudden, we both look up the notch here because we both, all three of us thought there's jet airplanes coming down here. These are jet airplanes, and all you hear is just like, it's like we both look up thinking jet airplane. Of course, I'm thinking, well, it's the biggest thermal at first, and I think jet airplane, but they all thought jet airplane. And then I look up, and all I can see is like 5, whatever, massive black dots coming down. Of course, I'm thinking rock fall. Oh wait, I got to back the story up first. Anyway, so yeah, so I'm pointing out the thermal's breaking loose, and so yeah. That's when your hang gliders want you to get on top of that, and some of the weekend before, and this was like 4 days earlier at Dog Mountain, awesome strafing conditions. That's what we used to say a lot anyway. So, but it's so good because I'm coming in, and they're setting their glider up on top of the peak, and this is like a nice little peak, it's like there's a lake in front and stuff. Anyway, but they thought I was gonna crash in on a takeoff, so I'm coming in so fast, and they would literally run and dive like they're going for home base or first base or some baseball thing, and skid on the ground. Couldn't believe it. Idiots! You gotta come out, the little loud things. Anyway, so I was telling about teasing all these guys hang gliding and stuff just 4 days earlier, and how much fun it was, because they thought they're like, we're pump their chest, shit, whatever. It doesn't work that way, does it? What do I call those people, Carrie? What do I call those arrogant people? Chest pounders? No, I never say chest pounders. Anyway, it's fun to tease them all on top. Basically, just when they're setting a glider, trying to like blow a bunch of air across it, so they would like rip out of their hands, and they get all pissed at me and stuff, babies, because it's got to hold on to shit, right? Anyway, so I was holding on to stuff out here on the slabs, and we look up, and I'm thinking rock fall, and it's all coming right for me. And Dennis and Ken were over here, and I'm out here in this big apron, and it's coming. I'm thinking rock fall, it's coming right at me, and I'm like, oh my shit. And I remember just getting down and hugging the pack. Don't want to go too much, kick my foot off the chicken head, And I'm just thinking, I'm like, oh my god, it's coming right. And I'm just, my head's exposed. We didn't wear helmets back then, because we were men and paid attention. Safety third. God, you kids, get a grip. Whew. What are we talking about? Oh yeah, the croc fall. So I'm like against the frickin' hugging right in here. Right here. I'm like sucked to the wall, tight as I can. And I'm like, you gotta look up, right, if you're gonna get it or not. So I look up, oh no, it's not rock fall. It's 5 birds. And when Ken says something different, and that's why Dennis. Ken said it was falcons, I say ravens. Ravens. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. Oh, I can. Look at that. I didn't see it. This is cool. I'm right in here. So I can't remember how Ken got me rescued, but I was panicking, so he might have quickly slammed in a boat and got a rope down to me. I don't remember, but he was like, didn't know what kind of weight I needed, and he went overkill. Ken always goes overkill. Not always. Like, most awesome solo free climber I ever climbed with. Anyway, what was I talking about? The rocks. So I look down in, and I'm like, holy smokes, they're coming right for me. I'm like tucked into the rock in here, nice and tight, and I look up, and it's ravens, and they come by us. And of course, so now, I look between my legs and watch them come down here, And this is where Ken's story and my story differ too. So I look, of course, I turn around to look, and you can't really see it from here. Well, from over there you can see it. There's more of a little draw in here, right here. So they're coming down here. They're like 10, 20 feet off the top of me. All 5 of them were strafing the you-know-what out of me, because they must have heard me talking about making fun of Dog Mountain and strafing all those people. That's the only thing I can think of. Don't tell me there's no such thing as bird communication people. It's like, whew. Why else would they do that? You know what I mean? Anyway, so they come down here, and the first guy makes the turn. He makes it. He's like high-speed turn. Disappears even the notch in the trees down there. Right there. Just. I got the notch right? Yeah, this one. This zoom in feature is nice, Carrie. You're going to love it. Look at that. There's the rescue last night. We're thinking it was right in here. It was on this side of the river. I think it could have been up here on this big wash. You know, coming down here. See this big wash, all this big slide that happened right here? See this clear cut? Comes right down the corner of the clear cut. Nice big wash. It's just big wash on this side of the clear cut. Big wash. Anyway, I think it was out here, some of the big boulder, because the helicopter went back up. He snuck around and actually maneuvered through that notch up there. See, that's a notch right in there. He went around the notch. What are we talking about? Oh, anyway, the first bird comes around here, and he makes his freaking, he makes a turn, comes in. Oh yeah, that, Carrie, there you go, right in. He makes the turd come in, he comes, around the corner he goes. Second one tried to follow him through. He put his wings out a little bit, tiny bit, because there are no wings out when they come by us. They were like solid moving, high speed. I'm thinking 200 miles an hour roughly. People laugh at me that I was there. Plus the noise, it was absolutely incredible. One of those things you have to experience to believe it. Anyway, so he made the turn. The second one put his wings out a little bit, then it was kind of panicking, so he went a little more on the wings, and it's like left a trail of black feathers in the sky. And I don't remember, maybe I thought he did, Ken and I differ, so I don't know. But definitely the third one and or the fifth one, they didn't live. They ended up going through the trees. Just you could hear them just like, and a big splat noise, and they're going through the trees there. They were dead birds. Dead birds. And so it was the third or fourth and fifth, didn't make it, I don't remember. But I think the fourth one actually pulled up. He lost a bunch of feathers pulling up right here. But we hooted and hollered for so long. Woohoo! It was so cool. One of those experiences. They scared the total you-know-what out of me. I thought I was going to die for sure. Anyway, a while ago, if you were ever telling the story, if you haven't checked out, you get to tell the story about when Ken almost died up here, and I almost died up here in the exact same spot, like 3 years apart. Freaking incredible story. Ken saved my ass here once, and Ken up here, way up there. We're up here, right? See if I can zoom in on that. Fuck, how is it working? Here it is. Yeah, we're coming down. Oh, it's not focusing, Carrie.
Sorry?
There it goes, I got it. See my hold still. I need a stick thing like people hold, huh?
Yeah, I definitely want one of those selfie
Yeah,
sticks.
his mom got one, somebody for me.
I definitely want to look
Anyway, I'm coming, we're hanging, I'm up in here hanging. So it's a good, I don't know, probably the next bounce was gonna be 150, 200 feet, 300. And depending upon how you bounce on that bounce, the next bounce was gonna be into the ledge up here or clear the ledge, and then a bunch of bounces through here, like another 700 feet down.
cheese grater bounces.
Yeah, and the first one was definitely a cheese grater bounce, because you're gonna fall, Amira's gonna fall maybe 150 feet and then hit and then maybe glance off and depend, but it's all goes in my mind as I'm going. Anyway, Ken heard me yelling, because what happened, long story short, because I was rappelling, and all of a sudden Ken goes, what? He's yelling, fall. All of a sudden he noticed the rope starts zinging through the rappel rings, and he reached up and pinched his hand off, didn't care, and pinched his hand off on just like, you know, pinched the rope off and saved my butt. I remember falling, thinking, man, I'm falling to my death. This is nuts. This is, anyone talks about, and I've been to, you know, making climbing gear and stuff. I've been to a lot of freaking funerals or whatever over the years. Anyone talks about, oh, he died doing what he did. And I go, you know what? What he did was frivolous. Not a good way to die. Been there, done that. Trust me on that. Anyway, saw 2 ravens, And before that, or maybe it was after that. It was after that. I became friends with 3 of those ravens for sure. And they come anytime up here real high, and the first time here in the spring, you know what I mean, up here in the spring, and all of a sudden they'd come around to show me the tricks they learned. What tricks they, because I was, you know, I'm into kind of aerobatic hang gliding too. They'd be like, whoa, and they come right in front of me out in space and pull this little trick off. And it was awesome. It's like that hoot and holler, and the hoot and holler was about how good their trick was. And you could tell they couldn't wait till next year. They can practice all winter long and come back and show me their little new trick they did in the sky right in front of me every time they come by. In fact, one time we're wrapping off of I can't remember what we climbed that day, but we were coming down the standard wrap route here. And I was telling about these raven friends of mine. And he goes, you don't talk to birds and stuff. And I said, well, I'm pretty sure we're going to see them. It's my first time here this year. And sure enough, here they come by, and I hooted haw there. And I did something stupid, and all the birds were, of course, he says, because they heard me cuss, that's why they're laughing at me. But he was like, those birds were laughing at you. But of course they were. They're my buddies. They're my buddies. And he's like, he was like, no, you don't understand. Those birds were laughing at you. And I got a lot of bird laughing at me stories, man, especially eagles. Eagles love to laugh at me. They suck me in. The eagles suck me in. Like, come on, you can do it. You can do it. But this is the day, awesome day. Kind of ties in with the whole awesome flying. That was some awesome flying last night by the helicopter. Woohoo! Wow. Yeah, he came in here over 3 fingers, and I looked around there in the basin with my 3 fingers, went over down by Craig's Lakes, was down there for a while, maybe even jumped down over to Bowling on Lakes, and then came back here and kind of circled around here a bit, circled around, went up to Big Boulder Basin, circled around, and it seemed like he was over the Big Boulder, so then they went over here, and then you could hear him over Clear Creek and up that area, and he was gone like 20 minutes, came back again, circled around, and then he started coming straight for us, and we got a bonfire going. I'm thinking, wherever he's flying with our bonfires, blinding that dude. And Nick's like, oh, high tech, and I know they got my probably automatic computer hover stuff, but I think that's why I had the big light going out front so you could see if he was moving or whatever. But that guy was, wow. And when they left, they were hanging. I love to hear how they were hanging. It looked like it could even been like no, that was an exercise, but they were hanging. They couldn't get the gurney and whatever, and there was a long man. They flew down really, really slow and steady, real close to the ground, all the way out of here. Incredible helicoptering last night. That guy was smooth. He was as smooth as those ravens. Well, one of them anyway.